Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Donnie all day. And it's a Jack Wolf Knives Day Gateway Series Jack Wolf Knives Day. And as always, the packaging, the art, it's always just incredible. Jack Wolf Knives isn't a knife company. They are a knife art company. They just do it all and they make it look good. So the Gateway Series is what you'd consider a more affordable series to get people into these knives who really, really want to get into them, but find themselves not able to spend a certain amount of money, but they want the same great quality. And with 14C28 and steel, which I brag about all the time, you're getting great quality, and this is still all Jack Wolf knives. Knifing. This thing is absolutely beautiful. The micarta on this is freaking gorgeous. So, Gateway Series, this thing is awesome. Let me get to their page. This is called the Equal End. And equal end, I'm guessing, because, well, it's got an equal end. That is a perfect boom, boom, equal-ended knife right there. And it's beautiful, and it's got a really nice size to it. Another thing that I love about this one is its flat grind. Oh, flat grind. How I love the flat grind. It's just going to be strong. It's going to last forever. And when I say last forever, this thing will last forever. Treat it right. It will treat you right. Let's go over the specs real quick. We are looking at a closed length of 3.73 inches, a flat ground 14C28N spear point. Is it a spear point? It's kind of more of a drop point to me, but he calls it a spear point. Spear point usually is exactly the same, like a spear comes to an exact same degree on both sides, where this one's a little different. For me, it's a drop, but if he calls it a spear, I'm going to roll with him. Let's see. It is a 2 3/4 inch blade length. I wanted to get the overall length when it's open. It's probably on there and I'm missing it, so I will just go ahead and give it, let's see. So it is 6 5/8 overall, it looks like. And this is I had some weird marks on there. I was trying to figure out what I marked before. This thing is a beauty. It's a beauty in typical Jack Wolf Knives fashion. Just a good looking, very, very well built knife. The transition from spine to scale is completely smooth. There's just so much attention to detail. The walk and talk, as always, on his slip joints. Oh, that is beautiful. It comes in, it's going to come in different variants. You're going to have abalone, antique, ivory, paper micarta. You're going to get ebony wood, red smooth bone, and camo carbon 80s, it looks like. And there will be a purple G10, exclusively at Traditional Pocket Knives. On his websites, as always, you will find the Jack Wolf Knives dealers list, so you'll be able to track it all down and do okay with that. So where a lot of his knives are going to be in the 250 to 350 range, what makes these so special is that these are in like the $69.99 to $79.99 range, depending on which grip you like. I'm a big fan of micarta, so I'm really, really happy to have this one. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to show you. Gosh, that's really nice. That is a hard clicking knife. I'm going to show you the different scale materials so you can see for yourselves. All right, so this is the antique ivory paper micarta. That's the one I have. This is ebony wood. It is a very beautifully grained, dark stained wood. Here you have smooth red bone, and I have to say that's really, really bright, really attractive. You have abalone, which you have to see. It's kind of like a mother of pearl type thing. You have to see it to believe it, or to get the whole thing. It's really cool. So this is the exclusive purple G10, and that's gonna be at a specific dealer though. And then you have this camo carbon 80s. This stuff right here, if you're lucky enough to get one in the sun, holy crap. That camo carbon just absolutely freaking pops in the sun. So let's open it up. Now remember, this is a slip joint knife. This is made to take out of your pocket and cut with. This isn't going to be your self-defense knife. This isn't your fighting knife, your combat knife, anything like that. This is your traditional pocket knife. And the best part about these is when you walk into a bank with a knife on your side, people might give you that side eye, right? But when you go into a bank, you could walk into the police department. When you have something like this on you, nobody really gives you a second look. I went to a county fair last year, and I had, what was I carrying? I think I was carrying my ADV Tacticals Badlands Bowie. That's what I was carrying. And I got to the gate, and they were like, "Oh, you can't bring that in." Because they're like, "Do you have anything on you?" I said, "Oh, I have a pocket knife." They're like, "Oh, well, so let's see what it is." And I showed them it. No. But so this year, when I went back, I had right here. Oh, as a matter of fact, right here, because I was there recently. I had this from my man Jared. I had my my case. See how that there's no stop in the center; it just goes all the way through. The walk and talk here is a lot different. But I had the sod buster, and I said, "I do have a pocket knife." I showed them. They said, "No, that's okay." It was a slip joint. They didn't care. So that's one of the really good things is it doesn't draw a lot of negative attention. Let's see sharpness here real quick. Let's see here. Shave Frankenstein. I'm going to shave Frankenstein just to show you. And if you don't know what Frankenstein is, just a tattoo. Oh, I just dropped a bunch of it. Ooh. Now, if you're wondering what I mean by shave Frankenstein, that's all the hair that was covering that tattoo. And now that is beautifully smooth. Let me see if I can show you even better. These things come sharp. Let's see. All right. Look at this. That is 100% shave sharp. 100% shave sharp. They are no joke when it comes to edge geometry and edge profiling. It's just literally some of the best there is. Let's go show you on other materials than my face. All right. Golly, this is nice. Now remember, these drop tomorrow. Today is Thursday the 20th in November. These drop Friday the 21st, November 2025. You get a Jack Wolf Knives blade for $70. Look at this thing. This is a beautiful, beautiful freaking knife, man. This thing is nice. We had some off-season rain last night, which is a little weird because there's a storm going across the states, and where a lot of places got snow, we just got a little bit of rain. So everything's soaking wet over here, but it'll be a-okay. All right, so let us, golly, this is a really, the micarta in person is so nice. Let's go ahead and do some push cuts. Gotta get you guys a little bit closer so you can actually see this thing perform. Hey, dog, come on. My dog, wow, that's the cleanest cut on a bungee I've probably ever been able to make. That is Really, really nice. And it was absolutely simple to cut through. Let's go to that white rope. Take that. Golly. So not only is he using 14C28N, which I brag about all the time, but he's doing it in a way where the cuts are just phenomenal. You see this little flicker right here? That's because I cut down here and that part sank into the wet wood. The rest of it was just completely clean. Let's see here. My dog is following the reflection of my watch, and she's like a cat with a laser. She's just going mental. She's stepping on my feet trying to get to the glare. I was gonna put pressure into there, and turns out I didn't need it. This thing's really nice. Let's do, oh my gosh. All right, so this is important. You see this cut? You see how clean that is? A lot of times when I cut these, I wonder if I have a piece sitting here, you're gonna get frayed edges. It's kind of hard to tell, but frayed edges. And a frayed edge means it was sharp enough to cut, but not sharp enough to cut clean. It tears and rips. You see that? You see the difference between that and that on the edge? This looks like it was cut with a machine, like brand new. That is super impressive. That's, so far on this material, that's the single cleanest cut I've come out with yet. I've had happen yet. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. That one caught me off guard. I figured it was going to be nice because it's Jack Wolf knives. I didn't know that's even nicer than all the Jack Wolf knives, other blades that I've used. Look how freaking clean that is. That is super, super nice. All right, that's quite impressive, Mr. Bent Belkin. That's quite impressive indeed. So let's see here. Golly. That is absolutely sharp. And I love that it's a flat grind. That's my favorite. I do love a flat grind. Let's take some of this nice big hefty rope. Clean cuts. Golly. I'm telling you guys. Look at how flat that is. That is amazing. That's amazing. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep cutting. You know, I have a piece that I already cut off too. I want to use that. Because I want to get a rip on it. And I know it was thick enough for it. Gosh. Look how clean that cut is. That is a perfect cut. That's a perfect cut. Gosh. I'm sinking into the wood here. Everything's so saturated. Man, this is really crazy sharp. Let's go sideways. Get that beautiful cut. Golly. I mean, this is a real basketball, and it is a nice basketball. It's leather, rubber, mesh. That is perfectly clean. Insanely nice. All right, here we go. Look at that. This is where this knife will shine. These push cuts like this. This knife will absolutely shine doing that. Let's get some pulls here. Gosh. The knife is so smooth. It's so effortless to make these cuts. And it's just perfection. It's hard to, you have to put one in your hand to understand it. You have to know the importance of a slip joint. Less moving parts means less stuff to break. This knife will literally last a lifetime, and you can take it out and you can cut with it. And people say, oh, but it's not sexy. It's not you don't have a flipper, and it's not real fast, and it's not who cares? When you need to cut something and somebody says, oh, hey, do you have a knife? I have to cut this open. Being able to take your knife out and just go, yeah, here you go. Having that extra second to open doesn't mean you're not going to be able to cut what needs to be cut. It takes an extra second to open. Who cares? If you stab down, okay, so that was a bad example. I was hoping it was going to close. If you stab down, yeah, you can close on your hand if you stab down and hit that angle, but that's not what it's made for. However, like if I hit this direction, I'm not worried about it closing because it will never close going this way, right? It'll always stay open with the pressure going this way. So you don't have to worry. It's not a stabbing tool. If in case of emergency, can you slash with it? Yeah, absolutely. Slashing with this thing would be literally no problem. If I am in a point where something bad's about to happen, and I could slash, and I don't have to worry about this knife closing or damaging me or hurting me. It's the same as any other knife when you're talking about a directional cut. So people that think, oh, you can't use it. What if something? What if? Okay, you can still use it. You're not going to stab. And even if you are going to stab, as long as I stab, especially at an angle like this way, it's not going to close on me. And especially going through something soft, right? I don't have to worry about that either. So where the people think it has a downfall in those areas, it's not really a downfall. And besides that, there's probably 0.00001% of the population has ever had to take a knife out for self-defense. Literally, it's so rare to happen. Think about how many days you keep a knife in your pocket, how many times you carry, and how many times you've had to take it out to cut something, and how many times you've had to take it out to defend yourself against an attacker. Measure those differences, because if you need a knife that's going to cut every time, all the time, a slip joint is the way to go. It's going to last forever. It's always going to be there. It's always going to work. And it's not going to draw negative attention. Police aren't going to pull you over and say, well, you had a slip joint, so obviously you're out causing trouble. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to give you crap. Nobody's going to give you crap for carrying, granddad's old knife. But with granddad's old knife, you're going to get the same exact job done as you're going to have where if you have some modern day fiasco all over the place with all these bells and whistles. If you took a cold steel 4max and you said, I need to feather so I can light a fire, and you took this and you said, I need to feather so I can light a fire, you're getting the same reaction. It's going to make feathers. That's what it's going to do. It doesn't matter. You're not fighting bears, and you're not pulling out your knife against cougar attacks. So if you just need a knife to cut and you want a phenomenal knife, you want a quality knife, you want a knife that's going to retain value or even increase value, you get a collectible blade. These guys make knives that people want. They search for them. Once they sell out, people go nuts looking for the variants they didn't get. So this is not just a knife, but it's an investment. That's one of the greatest things about a Jack Wolf Knives knife, is this thing is an investment. But beyond that, for me, it's just a badass cutting tool that will literally live forever. I'm going to put the link down below so you can check it out. These things are phenomenal. They will sell out. They're not going to last a whole lot of time, especially at the price. This one's only $69.99. Get out of here. That's better than any case. I'll tell you that straight out. This is gorgeous too. All right, so follow the link below. Check it out. Hi, I'm Donnie all day. Until next knife.